Club America defeat Cruz Azul 1-0 in the final. A very controversial final. I do have to say so myself. America won on a penalty, which was very controversial to a lot of people. And even me as an America fan, I could see it was a soft penalty. It was a soft penalty, but I'll say this. Let's just get to it. I'll say this. It's hard to overturn a penalty like that once it's been called when a player commits that hard and doesn't touch the ball. And there's people with like framing freezes. Look like it kind of looks like he touched the ball. If you see the other angle, he did not touch the ball. He did not touch the ball, and he slid with a lot of force. He made a little bit of contact with the left foot, and then the America player obviously looked for the contact, dragged his right foot, and got that contact underneath. And then the momentum, if you look at the back angle, the momentum of the Cruz Azul player kind of moved the America's foot a little bit to the left too. So it wasn't just the contact going down, it was also like a little bit contact going side. Obviously, the America player was aware that there's a full Cruz Azul player that just committed himself to this tackle underneath him. And as a lot of people do, is you look for the contact. And I mean, when it happens to me, I'm hot. Like, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna say that if that would have happened to me, I would have been like, oh, that's fucking bullshit, or like that's not right. That shouldn't be a penalty. But I would also be mad at the defender for committing to this slide and not getting the ball. Like, you got to be 100% sure that you're gonna get to the ball if you're gonna commit in the final and expose yourself like that, and just basically leave it up to the opposing player to do whatever he wants. Like, he could flop, he could drag his foot, and there's nothing you could do because you committed to that tackle. You expose yourself, and that's usually what happens when you commit to a tackle that hard and you don't get to the ball. It's as simple as that. If you commit that hard to a tackle in the box, you better be damn sure that you get there, or else you leave it to the opponent and the referee to their interpretation. And like I said, if it would have been against me, I would have been hot too. I would have been like, damn, he dragged his foot. That's bullshit. I don't think it's the same as Salah against Bayern, because I've said it before. Neuer didn't commit to his slide. He kind of like stood up and like stretched out his foot a little bit, and then Salah really stretched out his foot and looked for that. I would compare it more, if anyone remembers, to the Barrera penalty against France in the 2010 World Cup. I think it was Maluda or something like that. Slid, and Barrera pushed the ball before the French defender could get there, and then he dragged his foot, looked for the foul, and then he was awarded a penalty. And there was no VAR back then, so I mean, who knows if it would have been overturned, but I doubt it. Like, once you call a penalty and there is contact, and like you're literally underneath the player and you're cutting his pathway from running, then it's very tough. It's very tough to overturn it at that point. Now, if you're standing up and you're stretching your foot out a little bit, and the other player has to like really stretch out his foot to the side and fall, then I could see that getting overturned. But if you're underneath the player and he has nowhere to step on, nowhere to continue his stride, like, he really has to like elongate his stride to avoid you, then at that point, like, if you have colmillo, if you're smart, you know that if you jump over this defender, you're never gonna get to the ball. Like this, you're giving the defender the benefit of committing to a foul or committing to a tackle that he didn't get to the ball, and you're jumping over him, and now you're gonna lose the ball. So the tackle basically worked because it slowed you down having to jump over them. So, I mean, like I said, I would be hot too if I was Cruz Azul, but it's also damn near impossible for the referee to overturn it once he calls the penalty. Now, if he wouldn't have called it, I think he probably doesn't overturn it as well. Like, if he didn't call that a penalty and then they check it to see if it's a penalty, I think there's not enough contact for them to call it. It's one of those like really right down the middle. But other than that, I mean, yeah, Cruz Azul was playing better, but Malagon was a beast. Like, let's just quickly give Malagon his praise. What a beast. Like, he had some Courtois type of final game, like Courtois versus Liverpool type final. Like, that was insane. That was amazing. Like 2, 3 saves in the first half and another 2 in the second half, and just kept America in there. At the end, I still can't believe how Cruz Azul missed that last chance, like in the 88th minute. Open goal on your left foot. You're like 8 meters away from the goal, and you just hit it like a newspaper, and it barely rolls to the, like, Malagon got there. It had very little force. Open goal though. Open goal. I would be more mad at the defender that committed to that tackle in the final without touching the ball, and then the Cruz Azul player that missed that goal in the 8th minute. I'll be hot at them. That's what I'll be mad at. But overall, I mean, America wins their 15th title, back-to-back champions, literally the best team in Mexico. And there was another call in the first half, in the first leg of the final, where they stepped on Harry's. He's trying to go up for a header, and he gets stepped on, and like no one bats an eye. I mean, that would have been a soft penalty to call, and they didn't call it. But no one bats an eye. No one says like, oh, like that kind of proves that America isn't getting favored. Like if there were, like they would have gotten that penalty. That's enough contact for America to get that penalty if they bought the refs, if they're getting helped all the time. That was enough contact. If we really paid the refs, that was enough contact, and that merited enough for a bought ref to give you a penalty, if that makes any sense. If I would have bought the ref, he would have given me that penalty. Like there was enough merit for a bought ref to give me that penalty in the first leg against Henry Martin. But because he's not bought, he didn't give it to us. But no one, like the coach said, Jardines said at the end, I understand how it works here in Mexico. I understand how it works. When we don't get a call, no one bats an eye. No one says anything. When we get a call that might be controversial, everybody gets on it. Everyone gets on it. Oh, yeah, they're getting all the help. I know how this works. Like, I'm not even going to comment on it. Like, let's celebrate this title. I saw all the interviews afterwards. TUDN and other networks were interviewing him. He knows it. Well, he's been here 1 year. He gets it. That's how it is. We don't get a call, no one bats an eye. No one says anything. We get a call, comprado, all this, los antis come out. It is what it is. Everyone gets bad calls. Like I said, if you're a defender and you commit to that tackle in the box and you don't get there, you leave yourself vulnerable for the opponent to flop, to exaggerate contact, to drag their foot. So I'll leave it at that. Ódiame más. La quince es nuestra. Super happy. Like I said earlier, I'm super disappointed, sad, trying to, understand my feelings on Nadal basically retiring, losing at Roland Garros, but America winning their title, their 15th title 1 day prior is, holding me over. I'm still feeling good.